If you had to gather everything Rumi ever sang into a single word, that word would be love. Not love as a passing feeling, not love as the warm comfort of being liked, but love as the deepest law of existence, the force that draws every separated thing back toward its source. For Rumi, love is not one subject among many. It is the central theme, the one note sounding underneath all the others, the gravity of the soul. He begins his great poem, the Masnavi, with the cry of a reed flute. The reed has been cut from the reed bed, hollowed out, and now it wails. Listen to this reed, he says, complaining of separation. Everyone who has been parted from the place where they grew longs to return. That image holds the whole teaching. We are the reed. We have been cut from the bed of the divine, set apart, given a separate name and a separate life. And the music we make, all our art and longing and grief, is the sound of that homesickness. The flute is beautiful precisely because it is empty and wounded. Only because it has been hollowed can the breath pass through it and become song. This is what Rumi means by love. Love is the memory of the origin, carried in the body as ache. It is the pull that will not let us be satisfied with anything less than the whole. We try to fill the emptiness with money, with status, with one beloved face after another. But Rumi insists that every smaller love is really the great love in disguise, reaching through a narrow opening. The thirst is holy even when we do not know what we are thirsty for. He learned this not from books but from a person. When Shams of Tabriz walked into his life, Rumi, the respected scholar, was undone. The dignified teacher of law and theology became a man who danced in the streets and wept, and could no longer tell the difference between himself and his friend. Their meeting was the proof of his doctrine. Love had arrived in human form and burned away the careful, separate self that Rumi had spent his whole life building. After Shams, he no longer spoke about God from a safe distance. He spoke as a lover speaks, scorched and grateful. So for Rumi, love is not gentle in the way we usually imagine. It is a fire. He calls it the fire that burns the veils, the fire that cooks the raw into the ripe. We arrive in this world unripe, hard, closed in on ourselves, certain that we are the center. Love is the heat that softens us until the shell cracks and the separate self gives way. This is why his poems are full of breaking, drunkenness, melting, dissolving. The ego does not want to dissolve, and yet that dissolving is the very thing the soul came here to do. To be a lover, in Rumi's sense, is to be willing to be consumed. And here is the turn that makes his teaching so radical. In ordinary love there are two, the one who loves and the one who is loved, forever separate across a gap of longing. But Rumi sings of a love so complete that the two become one. When the lover is fully burned, there is no lover left standing apart from the beloved. The wave returns to the sea and is the sea. The drop falls into the ocean and does not vanish into nothing. It gains the whole ocean. This is the secret hidden inside the homesickness of the reed. The return is not a sad exile finally pardoned. It is a wedding. This is also why the practices we will explore later, the repetition of the divine name and the turning dance, are not techniques for calming the mind. They are acts of love. The dervish turns because the heart cannot hold still in the presence of what it adores. The name is repeated the way a lover says the beloved's name, over and over, until the one who is calling and the one who is called are no longer two voices but one breath. Method in Rumi is always courtship. So when people ask what Rumi teaches, the honest answer is small and immense at once. He teaches that the universe is held together by longing, that your deepest sadness is a love letter from your origin, and that the way home is not to think your way back but to love your way back, to let the fire have you. The separate self you guard so anxiously is the very wall between you and everything you want. Love is the one thing strong enough and tender enough to take that wall down. To hear this is to feel a strange relief. The restlessness you have carried, the sense that something is missing even in your happiest hours, is not a flaw in you. It is the reed remembering the reed bed. It is the truest part of you, already turned toward home, already in love before you knew the name of the beloved. In the next chapter, we begin to walk the path in a practical way. We will look at the first great method Rumi and his tradition give us, the practice of dhikr, the remembering of the name, and how this simple, patient repetition becomes the doorway through which love enters the ordinary day.